Hi, everyone. My name is Kaavya Mohan. I am in my last year in honors IDS. My pronouns are she, her, and most of my work has to do with global education issues and women's empowerment. The paper that I wrote was basically about how the importance of photography and the printing press, specifically on how it creates something called an imagined empathy. I specifically talked about the case study of King Leopold of Belgium's reign in the Congo during the 19th century. And I basically talked about how visual images and the printing press really contributed to taking action against atrocities faced in that area. So I was reading a lot of like firsthand accounts, like books, like this was, as I said, from the 19th century. So I was reading books that were published in like 1895 and things like that. And McGill has a great extensive research collection. And they actually did have photos that were quite uh, stirring. And I was like, wow, I cannot believe that this had happened. And it was such an interesting topic. And it's something that's not really talked about that much, probably because it's before World War One. But it was really the first case that kind of shook the entire global community and created a need for like a larger humanitarian global initiative. So I was very interested by reading these firsthand accounts, and I kind of just um, continued my research for an INTD class later in my final year. So I did this for a history class, I think my second year, and then I kind of adapted that research for a class this semester. I think one of the things that I really wanted to argue in this paper is how important creating an imagined empathy is. I think this is relevant for today's time too. When we think of like humanitarian crises and terrible things happening, often it's easy to kind of say, well, that happens to other people, you know? It's hard to kind of imagine how this could be you or how you could help. And I think when you are faced with images or a graphic detail of another human suffering, it really stirs something in the very core of our empathy. And I think this is something that a lot of humanitarians realized early on. And it really just created this psychological foundation for human rights, just the moral aspect of it, that this is something that no human should be able to have to go through. And that's what I really wanted to argue in my paper. Yeah, and lastly, I just really wanted to take the time to thank my professor, Eva Nawaraki, who really instilled in me as well as other students that you can be a scholar at a younger age and you can do research. And it was for her class that I actually wrote this paper for. And she really encouraged my writing, and it actually led for me to try and get it published in Chrysalis. So I wanted to thank her for her support.